this debut video that we're going to premiere here today. Will, tell us about your awesome group, the Elevenet.
The Elevenet has existed here in Denver since 2007, is when I put it together. I started the group under a different name when I lived in Austin, which it existed from 2004 to 2006. But I wrote for this instrumentation more or less at my senior recital at North Texas back in 2001. And I did it basically, I wrote one chart for the nonette from Birth of the Cool, and I wrote one chart for the same instrumentation as the Marty Page Dectet, which are both similar. And both of them, as soon as we sat down and started rehearsing the charts, it was like a light went on and I went, this is what I do. Like I knew I was going to enjoy it, but as soon as we started playing, I was like, yeah, this is, and it's, that was almost 20 years ago that I did that. And I'm still like the 11 I'm like, yep, that's what I write for. That's that group right there. That's the one that I want to do. So I write big band charts, obviously, and small group things and all sorts of other things and different ensembles, but it's like the Elevenet is like this special one that I do where I handpicked exactly the voices that I wanted to hear based on some of, the things that influenced by Gil Evans and also by lesser known Marty Page. But we got, I play alto and sometimes soprano, there's tenor saxophone, more, it's like standard jazz instruments, 2 trumpets that are frequently doubling on flugelhorn. Darren plays trombone. And then I've got the 3 weirdos that really, really make it special, which where I've got my wife April plays bass clarinet in the group, which is a real treat to have that sound in the group. Every time I'm always like, yes, bass clarinet. And then there's a flute chair that's the alto flute and flute. I use both of them quite a bit. And then we also have French horn in the band. So it's like it's kind of the Miles Davis nonette plus a little bit added. I mean, there's added flute and there's tenor and not Barry. There's some switches that I made, but having the stuff that comes from the Claude Thornhill Orchestra and all that sort of symphonic things going on in the 40s, which is where Gil Evans got it, of having French horn in the band, having more reeds in the band and fewer like just brass and saxophones going on. So it's like that's the noise that I liked, and I think I've written 60 charts for the Elevenet now that we have in the book. It's a huge book that I've been working on for almost 20 years. And I'm just like, as I was editing this video that we're about to show, I'm just listening to it going, yes, this is what I wanted to do. So yeah, it's basically, it's my voice, my very specific compositional thing. Like I said, I write for big band, I do all those other things, and I've got my ways that I do those, but it's like, this is the one that it's like, this is me. This is definitely the unique to me and my idea and the way that I see this and the way that I want to put it together. So yeah.
When do you think you found that?
That was 2001. I did my senior composition recital at North Texas, and I remember the room we were in the building. I remember the second it happened. Like, I'm sitting there, and we started playing the chart that I wrote that was for the Miles Davis thing, and it was just like a wave goes over me, and like, there's like metaphysical clarity for a moment, and it's like, So
that is
it was very specific.
So we've played this tune live just once. Was that at the DU concert that we did a couple years ago?
Mm-hmm.
And so then you had the thought that maybe we should try to do it. We'll have another chance at another whack at it. And we all sent in our own videos from our homes, and you pieced it together. And now we're launching it today on July 2nd. And so let's go ahead and enjoy this, and then we'll get some of Will's comments after we listen. So go grab yourself another beverage. awesome tune, Will. That was a lot of fun. That was really challenging to record it. All of us were kind of talking about it behind the scenes,
Oh, you were? Oh no.
and then I actually featured Gabe Mervine, the second trumpet there, the flugelhorn, and a couple last month for a Sonic Tonic, and here's what he had to say.
Oh no. This is
Oh,
one of the
no.
best things that's happened to me this week.
I love Will, and I love his music. He's a huge inspiration to me. I took a lesson from him when this quarantine thing first started because I really love the way he writes. And that's why I'll sit there for 2 or 3 hours just to get one good take because it's worth it.
We were both laughing about it the other day, just saying, man, that thing is hard. So what is hard about it, Gabe, about something like Wil Swindler's music?
His music is difficult. And I tell this to students. I try and think about music as like not easy and hard, but familiar and unfamiliar. The more I can remind myself of that, like, I don't want to think that something's difficult. It's just new and different. And geez, Will can write some stuff that is new and different. The way the rhythms are read off the page, where the rhythms fall, like that's what was really given me some difficulty. I think it was called Mechanisms is the tune. I was really getting stuck on this one part because it was a group of rhythms or group of notes set in a rhythmic fashion that I probably had never seen before. So for me to stay on beat, playing along with this MIDI track and not get confused by the other parts I'm hearing at the same time, because another thing that makes Will's music difficult is how everything fits together. And not only that, but when you're recording these videos, it's got to be one take. And I have a really long solo and then a bunch of really hard rhythmic stuff. So I kept playing the intro, the solo, and then I get to this rhythmically difficult spot and go, shoot, oh, I got to start over again. That solo felt so good.
Yeah, I agree with that. And anytime there's hard music, as a composer, it's really neat to put it together. You and I have both written a lot of music, but then you're writing it from this ideal kind of situation. And that's why I'm always a real teacher of live and recording are two different things. They're both...
My God. You know, it's the trade-off of, you get the energy of the live recording, but then it never is as perfect as it would be. And then the studio recording ends up being this like really, really specific documentation of what you did, and the mixing is all right. And if anybody messed something up, you can usually fix it. And you get it just the way it's supposed to be. But then everybody, myself included, I've spent my whole life trying to get as free in the studio as I am on live gigs, where on the gig, I'm just like letting it go. Cause it's like, yeah, once I let this go, it's gone. Everybody heard it and nobody's going to loop it on my tombstone,? So it's like, then you're playing the thing and all you're thinking is, this is what anybody would ever hear. And that's the only thing they would ever hear from me. And it better be perfect. It better be everything I can do. And it better be, just like the best thing that anybody's ever heard. So yeah, you can get so up in your head, even if you're pretty good at really letting it go and doing stuff. You get in the studio and all of a sudden it's like you're in the operating room with all the lights shining on you. It's like, oh God.
Your music is really like a Maria Schneider thing, Pat Metheny, where it's this kind of, there's no defined start and end to different phrases and stuff. It's very cool and not so rigid. And
I always refer to that as horizontal music.
Yeah.
Where it's the music goes this way instead of this way. And both of those you get different kinds of music fit into those categories. But yeah, the thing you're describing, which I definitely do a lot of that and on purpose from those kinds of influences. Music.
And so that's a great point for Sonic Tonic for those of you out there. When you're hearing stuff, it's not by accident. I mean, people have put lots and lots of thought into this. And so I highly recommend you go back and listen to this and think about some of these things that Will has said and what Gabe was talking about, and see if you can kind of assimilate and think about it maybe a different way instead of like, oh yeah, they sound kind of pretty. So how many albums do you have these days?
There's only one Elevenet record. I also have the record I did with my quintet called Good Rattle, which Gabe plays in that group also. I've got the Chamber Jazz record, which is the band that I had in Austin. That was kind of like it was the Elevenet, but there were only 10 people in it. We didn't have the flute chair in there. That record's called Chamber Jazz Ensemble. And then I have that Christmas record that I did as a social experiment.
Nice.
That's by far my best selling record.
Cover tunes, baby.
I did it just to see. I was like, you know what? If we did like a Christmas thing, would we, make the money back and actually make money? The answer is yes, we did. We made money back. All of us who were on the album, made money. It's taken a couple years, but we all made money on that record, which is all my other ones I've not made money back from sales, at least.
Yes.
So it's like, but anyway, those are the 4 that I have as a leader. I'm on a whole bunch of others as player, but
sideman. Yeah. Great. And your main website is
wilswindler.com. Thanks for reminding me that I just said my website, but didn't have.
I wanted you to try to say it through the beer. So, man, this has been a lot of fun. We're running out of time.
Before we go, though, I just want to say, like, I'm always so grateful for, like, you guys playing in my band. Like, you guys are so damn good. I mean, it's when we were playing more, which, I mean, obviously the pandemic's kept us out, but like, years ago we used to play fairly frequently, and it every time I go and I listen, you guys just knock it out of the park. I mean, I just love it so much. And like, I mean, I will for the rest of my life be indebted to all of you guys who have played in the Elevenet and done such a great job and playing my music. And like I said, like it's my voice, it's my thing, it's my life project, and it's nothing without you guys there to play it. And it took me a long time to find the right players and get the people on the band. And I'm very grateful for all you guys making wonderful tones out of the dots I put on the page.
That's very nice. And I know everyone in the band feels that back at you, because it's so neat as a freelance musician it's not common to get a good band with great world-class players to play great tunes that are organized and creative and have a point. And to then have your leadership skills, it's always so efficient. We show up, if it says it's 4:00, we're starting at 4:00, and we do a walkthrough, and you know exactly what you want. That's very, and I'm a leader myself, and I just know I don't have to do anything. I'm just sitting there as the trombone player, and you're going to answer all my questions. I just have to sit there and play, and that's a big benefit as a musician. So
that's how I feel when I've done your gigs. I'm like, Darren's got it. I don't have to worry about a thing. I could just show up and be a sideman and not be like, why is this idiot doing that? It's just like, no, this is good.
Yeah, so it's really kind of like, gravitating toward your mentality and people, and it makes it a lot of fun. So thanks for doing what you do, and keep doing it, and hopefully we can play some live gigs here soon.